Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's a wrap? Anyways, wait, I got one for Snow. It ain't a wrap, dog. Relax. UFC motherfucker. What's up, Snow?
I gotta ask you this. You stopped the guy with the 8-fight win streak. Do you feel like Sean Strickland did enough to get the next title shot in the middleweight division?
Yes, I fucking did. I don't think this thing works. I'll say that. Yes, Judge, enough. Listen, you don't want to see any of these motherfuckers fight that little Chechen war. You want to see the last fucking American in the sport going, fuck that guy up. And that's what's gonna happen.
What did Sean Strickland do to beat Khamzat Chimaev?
Anything I fucking want, dude. Anything I fucking want, dude. I'll bring a fucking go. You'll get distracted. Anything I fucking want. I feel like we need to bring the belt back to America. We need a real fucking American to represent this fucking organization.
So, a fight with Khamzat at some point somewhere in the world over fighting at the White House?
Well, first of all, guys, I'm not leaving this country ever again. I'm an American. I'm not leaving, I'm not traveling, I'm not vacationing, I'm gonna die on this fucking soil. So it will be in America. Where the fuck that is, I'll be there. What do you want next, Sean? I don't know, man. Chimaev finally gets off the bench, dude. I'd like a piece of that little Chechen whore. But you never know with him, bro. You never know that guy, but that's what I want. I kind of thought you started going a little wild. And like, no part of you slowing down, but to me, you're getting a little bit more sloppy. But like, no part of this man was slowing down. He was a fucking savage. Was obviously just seconds from it. Option and up win. Well, we just got 8 in a row. You stopped it. You're a former champion. What do you want next, Sean?
A clandestine rumor escaped Khamzat Chimaev's highly secretive training camp. The whisper wasn't just gossip, it was a potential career-altering secret that threatened to dismantle Sean Strickland's entire fight strategy against Anthony Hernandez. A young, relatively unknown 21-year-old teammate made an audacious claim he had submitted Strickland with a rear-naked choke during a sparring session. This wasn't some minor incident, it was a direct shot at the former champion's vaunted ground game, leaking just days before the biggest fight of his career. If true, it painted a stark picture of vulnerability that no statistic could ever capture, throwing all predictions into immediate chaos. The division watched, stunned. Had Strickland's Achilles heel just been exposed?
For champ, Sean Strickland!
For Anthony Hernandez, this wasn't just idle chatter or a sensational headline, it was a potent warning sign, a potential roadmap to victory. The leak suggested the battle-tested Strickland might not in fact be invincible, particularly on the ground. This intel, if legitimate, could have provided Hernandez the critical opening he needed to dictate the entire fight to impose his dominant grappling game plan from the very first bell. It transformed a high-stakes bout into a strategic minefield, where one hidden detail could unravel everything. The implications were immense.
How do you know that about this guy? Like, when do you know that about a fight?
I mean, that's how he's made his career, just like laying on guys. You know, but it's hard. Like, he fought Roman Dolidze, and I mean, Roman Dolidze did his camp for us. He had his, like, again, talk about injuries. He hurt his back. He didn't even train really at all that fight camp. So, like, you know, Fluffy goes in there and mauls him, and everyone's like, oh shit. And you're like, me, has been in with Roman Dolidze for 10 weeks. I'm like, this guy didn't train at all. Like, he couldn't. His back was. But, you know, Roman had the idea that I'm just going to go in there, I got good jiu-jitsu, and I'm going to armbar somebody, and then lights come on, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So there is, like, it's kind of weird from insight, from knowing guys who fought, like, Roman, where you're like, well, I know you felt like a badass, but, like, you should have seen what we've seen for the last 8 weeks. You would have been like.
Yet Strickland himself had already lobbed his own controversial claims regarding Hernandez's past dominance. He didn't just see a string of impressive wins, he saw a hidden narrative. Strickland genuinely believed many of Hernandez's suffocating victories were less straightforward than they appeared. He pointed to unseen realities, injured opponents, sabotaged training camps, or fighters entering the ring nowhere near their 100% peak. To Strickland, Hernandez's record, while formidable, carried an asterisk the public rarely acknowledged, suggesting a pattern of opportunistic wins rather than pure unadulterated dominance. This was a direct challenge to Hernandez's legitimacy.
That was a layup.
You still, how do you feel about going into those 4th and 5th rounds knowing that it's going to be miserable? You welcome that, or you just like,
Yeah,
I'll do it, I have to do it?
Yeah,
But like,
I mean, I don't know anything else in 5 rounds. Like, you just train for that, you know? Like, you just, I mean, we did 5 rounds in here. I mean, you've seen 5 rounds in here, and then generally I try to, like Fluffy's a hard guy to train for because there's nobody that really fights like him, you know, that like has that pace. So a lot of my training is like my wrestling rounds are outside of sparring. I'll get guys. But I mean, you see me spar today, you know, you just like go with a guy until he becomes a dead body.
The atmosphere leading up to the fight was electric, yet strangely subdued. There was no bombastic trash talk, no loud theatrical antics, just a pure raw intensity that hung heavy in the air. Sean Strickland, known for his relentless honesty, had been grinding behind closed doors, pouring in an almost obsessive amount of work. He knew he was stepping into a gritty, no-holds-barred battle with Anthony Hernandez. The entire MMA community sensed something monumental was brewing, recognizing this wasn't just another bout on the card, it was a legitimate proving ground.
I believe this is the biggest fight of your entire life?
I think that every fight's as big as you make it, and like, you know what I mean? I'm not where I want to be. I still want to be higher, so I'm still chasing dreams and goals. So like, I don't know, I just look at it like another fight. I'm gonna go out there to prove myself again and try to knock on that door for the title.
Yeah, clearly with every step you take this step forward. Does this fight, Anthony, does this take you to the doorstep of a title fight? Obviously something that you have badly wanted for a long time.
Man, I really hope so. But if not, I mean, there's only 2 more people in front of me to take out. You know what I mean? So like I said, if I got to take every out, then I will. But I mean, then there's going to be no one to clear out the division. So I don't know. I just want the belt. I'll clear that out, and then we go.
Analysts found themselves completely split, unable to agree on a definitive outcome. Could Strickland's relentless pressure attack finally break Fluffy Hernandez's resolve? Or would Hernandez's non-stop suffocating grappling game somehow sink the former champion? This wasn't merely a contest of styles, it was a clash of wills, a make-or-break moment where everything was on the line for both men. The stakes transcended a simple win or loss, hinting at a potential shifting of the guard within the middleweight division, with both fighters primed to make a profound statement.
How do you see Sean as an opponent? Obviously somebody who has won, massive fights, beaten the best of the best. He's been champion. Where do you see him? I mean, is he washed now? Is he still that same dangerous guy? What's this guy?
No, I think he's tough and he's really good. You know what I mean? He's beaten the fuck out of some great people, like you said, but all those people aren't me. So I'm looking to go in there and show what I could do against him.
Strickland conceded that Hernandez's never-ending relentless pace was truly uncommon, a kind of cardio and pressure that simply couldn't be easily replicated in any standard gym setting. So his solution was extreme. He completely overloaded himself. Strickland rotated through an endless stream of new training partners, going absolutely all out, pushing them until their bodies literally fell from exhaustion, only to tag in the next one and start all over again. If the fight ultimately went into deep waters, if it truly went south, well, that was just the way he liked it. That's precisely where he felt most at home, most dangerous.
Now, let's have a look at some of the stats going into this one. The average fight length between the pair of these, Sean Strickland's average fight length, 16 minutes, Alexander Hernandez, 11 minutes, 20 seconds. Knockdown average per 15 minutes, 0.24 for Sean Strickland, 0.0 for Alexander Hernandez. So I think that points to the fact that Strickland hits harder. That's fair to say. Strikes landed per minute, Sean's the busier guy, 5.95 to 4.53 per minute for Hernandez. The striking accuracy, Hernandez is way more accurate. He lands at a 62.8% clip, whereas Sean Strickland lands 42.5%. Strikes absorbed per minute, Fluffy also has the better defense. He only gets hit 2.53 times per minute, where Strickland takes 4.57 shots. Striking defense 60% to 49% on Hernandez, and the striking differential plus 138 for Sean Strickland and plus 2.0. Now, when it comes to the grappling, the takedown average per 15 minutes, 6.5 takedowns in a 15-minute.
For Sean Strickland, the very idea of grinding through hard-fought 4th and even 5th rounds wasn't something he dreaded or feared. Quite the opposite, in fact. It was the only rhythm he knew, the natural pulse of his entire fighting career. 5-round battles weren't some massive, daunting challenge for him. They were simply the norm, his undeniable comfort zone. He welcomed the misery, the grueling struggle, finding his deepest strength precisely when others would break. This mindset was a core part of his identity, a testament to his unbreakable will in the cage.
Hunter, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
I want to say 1 week ago we were at PI and we go to Extreme Sparrings and these guys meet Sean Strickland.
Oh! Hey!
How did you meet him?
Yeah.
We were sparring with Sean Strickland. He asked me and Baisangur. Baisangur went with him 3 rounds and he made him tired. And then he says, come on, you. And I went, take him down and submit him. Rear naked choke.
Hernandez, on the other hand, viewed the bout through an entirely different lens. To Anthony, this wasn't some once-in-a-lifetime make-or-break spotlight moment. Instead, it was merely another calculated, deliberate step in what he saw as a steady, unwavering climb to the very top. He wasn't the kind of fighter who ranked his bouts by hype or by the buzz surrounding them. He measured every single fight by the tangible progress it represented in his journey, with the championship belt always remaining the ultimate, unwavering destination.
I don't just mean beat him, because Hernandez didn't say I'm going to go beat him. So I'm going to beat him up. There's a big difference. I'm going to torture him. I'm going to make him pay. I'm going to out-grapple him. I'm going to outstrike him. I'm going to outpace him. What if Hernandez was to make Sean look bad? I mean, what would that mean? The stakes totally changed. Like this up-and-coming idea of Sean, which by the way, he's a bit of a veteran. He's a former world champion. That really knocks you down. Hard thing to come back from, as a matter of fact. I would go as far as to say that. And these are just the stakes. This doesn't put extra pressure on Sean. This is just a reality that I hadn't.
Hernandez maintained that exact same composed, forward-driving mentality throughout his preparation and in all his interviews. He spoke about Sean Strickland with clear, undeniable respect, recognizing him as a truly hardened former champion who had unequivocally proven himself against elite competition and, perhaps more importantly, had absolutely thrived under the most intense pressure imaginable. But here's the thing, Hernandez didn't get caught up in what Strickland had done in past fights because, as he put it, none of those victories had actually come against me. This specific matchup reset everything.
And I don't think that Hernandez is going to have to be the guy that's going to have to go out and break the record and beat 11 straight. I just don't. So what do you do? No, what do you do? What would happen there? Because it doesn't hurt Hernandez that bad if he gets bumped by Sean, by the way. Hernandez is a young guy. He's got all sorts of paper behind him, and now he's in the main event. Like, Hernandez got a rocket ship tied to his ass. He's going to be a star. But Sean could really fall. And the way you look does matter. What the performance looked like, it does matter.
The legendary Michael Bisping stepped in and absolutely broke down the numbers, painting a crystal clear picture of the contrasting styles. Strickland, as Bisping highlighted, consistently brought more volume and raw power to his fights, nearly 6 strikes per minute with a notably higher knockout rate. However, on the flip side, his accuracy and defensive game often left more openings for opponents to exploit, a crucial detail that could sway the momentum in a high-level contest. The raw aggression was evident, but so were the inherent risks.
Strickland, you know what he's going to come out and do. He's going to talk, say stupid stuff to fight weak, but he's going to throw out his jab. He's going to throw out that teep. I'm going to say over under 50 teep kicks for Strickland. Fluffy's shown that he has a weakness in the body. He's gotten hurt to the body a couple times. Kevin Holland finished him with a body shot. So for Strickland, you got to keep him at that jab length. He does a lot of walking forward. I don't think that's going to help him in this fight because moving forward on a guy that wants to shoot on you and wrestle on you, it's going to give him openings to get the takedown. I'm picking Fluffy. I think that pace is going to be too hard to keep up with. I just want to see him break Strickland.
Hernandez, though, was a surgeon inside the cage. He might have landed fewer shots overall, but he did so with far greater precision, absorbing significantly less damage in the process. And get this, Hernandez boasted a massive grappling advantage, averaging an incredible 6.5 takedowns per 15 minutes, which absolutely dwarfs Strickland's mere fraction. These statistics weren't just numbers, they powerfully underlined the exact clash of styles that fans had been eagerly anticipating. Raw, relentless power and pressure versus surgical precision and undeniable wrestling dominance.
Sean.
Oh. It's not a bad bet. I mean, yeah, I don't really see Sean Strickland shooting much on him. Strickland's been fighting with his knees locked out. He has those puppies locked
that
out.
That makes me funny. You're exactly right.
Tall as hell. Hopefully we see
Hopefully
we see Fluffy pushing the pace on him, making him wrestle, making him get up a lot. But Strickland is a good grappler. And God, I'm fired.
Digging even deeper into those grappling numbers, Bisping actually highlighted some truly surprising contrasts that flew in the face of conventional wisdom. While Hernandez was definitely the one who went after takedowns more often, constantly shooting, his success rate actually sat at a modest 48%. This revealed a potential inefficiency in his offensive grappling, suggesting he often exerted significant energy for less than stellar returns. It was a detail that added another layer of complexity to the anticipated ground battle. Compare Hernandez's takedown success to Strickland, who despite attempting far fewer takedowns, landed his attempts at a much higher, more efficient 64% clip. And it wasn't just offense. Strickland also showed up big defensively, stopping an impressive 76.2% of takedown attempts that came his way, significantly better than Hernandez's 68.2%. The submission statistics told a very similar story, emphasizing Strickland's remarkable ability to control and neutralize ground threats once the fight hit the mat, making him a far tougher challenge than his offensive grappling numbers might initially suggest. The submission statistics painted a telling picture. Hernandez averaged 1.8 submission attempts per 15 minutes, while Strickland barely registered at a tiny 0.16. This seemingly vast difference, combined with Strickland's strong defensive grappling, suggested a potential trap for Hernandez. While Fluffy was clearly more offensively inclined on the ground, Strickland's ability to defend and control once taken down meant Hernandez would need to be exceptionally careful and efficient, or risk draining his gas tank without securing a finish. On the other hand, the always insightful Chael Sonnen painted an incredibly stark picture of the potential ramifications for this fight. He argued that if Anthony Hernandez were to truly take Strickland apart, and he meant dominate him, it wouldn't just be a simple win on his record. Oh no, Sonnen believed it could fundamentally redefine Hernandez as a fighter. Anthony wasn't just aiming for a modest victory, he wanted to control the fight from every conceivable angle, leaving Strickland constantly struggling, trying desperately to keep up. For a seasoned fighter, a former champion like Strickland, getting exposed in such a definitive manner would have sent shockwaves through the entire division. It would have completely rewritten how fans and even other fighters viewed him, potentially tarnishing his hard-earned reputation. In that dramatic scenario, Hernandez wouldn't just have earned a win, he would have undeniably staked his claim as a true legitimate contender at the very top of the sport, catapulting himself into superstardom, while others looked on in awe. Sonnen continued, noting that the immense pressure in this matchup really wasn't on Hernandez at all. Think about it. Hernandez was young, rising incredibly fast through the ranks, and already absolutely packed with momentum. He didn't necessarily need a flawless, perfect performance to keep climbing and impress. Strickland, however, was in a completely different boat. He risked far more than just a loss. A bad showing, a lackluster performance could significantly tarnish the hard-earned reputation of a veteran and former champion, leaving a lasting mark. Bala Muhammad, known for his directness, broke down the matchup in absolutely brutal, no-nonsense terms. He argued that Strickland, despite his strengths, was ultimately quite predictable. You knew what you were gonna get. He would talk his trash, he would jab, and he would spam those signature deep kicks, probably throwing well over 150 of them in the fight. This predictability, in Muhammad's view, was a critical vulnerability waiting to be exploited by a multifaceted opponent. Muhammad pointed out that Hernandez had the tools to expose weaknesses that the cold, hard stats didn't always tell you. Specifically, body shots had troubled Strickland before, and walking forward recklessly as he often did against a high-level wrestler like Hernandez, that Muhammad contended could have been an absolute recipe for disaster. He predicted that Strickland's relentless pace and his straightforward approach simply wouldn't hold up against Fluffy's multifaceted attack, leaving him incredibly vulnerable to takedowns and constant suffocating pressure. Adding another crucial layer to the highly anticipated preview, William Welch pointed out a key tactical limitation he saw in Strickland's game. He highlighted that Strickland rarely, if ever, shot for takedowns himself, often keeping his knees locked out, and you know what that means, right? This seemingly small detail could have made it significantly easier for Hernandez to impose his world-class wrestling game, providing a clear pathway for Fluffy to initiate his dominant ground control and dictate the fight's tempo. Welch openly hoped that Hernandez would push an aggressive pace, actively force Strickland to wrestle, and keep him constantly moving, constantly reacting. Still, to his credit, Welch acknowledged Strickland's undeniable grappling skill, recognizing that he wasn't just a striker. Ultimately, he concluded that the matchup promised nothing short of a thrilling high-level chess match playing out right there inside the cage, a testament to the diverse skill sets both fighters brought to the table, promising a fascinating strategic battle. Moreover, the insightful MMA guru had a truly bold take on this showdown, seeing the fight as absolutely perfectly set up for Strickland's signature T-kicks. Why? Well, Hernandez's body had been exposed before, and his tendency to fight with a hunched posture often left crucial openings that a sharp, technical striker like Strickland could absolutely exploit. Even though Hernandez had entered the bout as the bookmaker's favorite, the Guru simply couldn't shake the idea that a steady, relentless stream of front kicks and precise body shots might just tilt the entire fight dramatically in Strickland's favor. In the end, after all those expert predictions, the intense speculation, and the bombshell rumors, Sean Strickland truly did come out on top, stopping Anthony Hernandez by TKO in the 3rd round. This victory validated every single one of those who had backed his relentless pressure and veteran experience over Hernandez's impressive rise. It was a decisive statement, not just a win, but a forceful reassertion of his place at the top, silencing critics and confirming his unique, unyielding approach to the sport. The leaked vulnerability remained unexposed, his mental fortitude undeniable,